Now, severe flooding is wreaking havoc across Central and Eastern Europe following days of torrential rain. The situation in many areas is critical as more rivers burst their banks. At least 15 people have died across Poland, Austria, Romania and the Czech Republic, with southern Germany affected as well. The flooding is the worst some regions have seen for more than 20 years. Tens of thousands have been forced to flee the rising waters.
Workers in this Chinese restaurant in the Austrian town of Böheimkirchen are starting to clean up the flood damage. The water in the cellar submerged furniture and produce as it rose to a metre high.
It rained continuously for 4 or 5 days. Everything has been underwater since yesterday morning. From over there to over there, the water came up to knee level. And the water and groundwater flooded every cellar.
Nearby residents are also assessing the damage to their homes from the historic floods.
My parents told me about a similar event in 1957, but the amount of rain was less back then, and the water level half a metre lower.
Even in the areas where the rain has subsided, dangers still prevail. The ground is fully saturated, and the river's still close to overflowing at several points. Drone footage shows the extent of flood damage to the neighbouring Czech Republic. An entire district of the city of Ostrava flooded after a dam burst in a river nearby. Parts of Poland have also been submerged by days of torrential rain. Prime Minister Donald Tusk announced more than €250 million in funds.
The Minister of Finance has assured me that there will be no shortage of money, whether for immediate or long-term aid.
With more heavy rain forecast for parts of Central and Eastern Europe, cities like Görlitz in eastern Germany are bracing themselves, preparing flood barriers around the city as the river rises.
Well, Central and Eastern Europe are prone to flooding, and I asked climatologist Friederike Otto of Imperial College London what was different this time.
What is different this time is just the intensity of the rainfall and the fact that the low pressure system that brought the rain stayed around in the same area for more than a day, so that a lot of rain fell in one place, whereas usually these low pressure systems go through quicker.
And what is the role of man-made climate change in this, if any?
I can't give you any numbers yet because we are still working on the study, but we know that especially for sort of shorter term rainfall like this sort of 3 to 4 day heavy rainfall events, climate change has made these events everywhere in the world more intense and more likely. And first look at the observations show that there is an increase in the intensity of this rainfall. And one of the main reasons is really just the basic physics that a warmer atmosphere can hold more water vapor, and that comes out of the atmosphere as heavy rainfall, such as what we're witnessing right now.
Many European regions have also had hot, dry summers. Is there a way to manage this flooding to help out these dry summers, to actually take something positive out of these events?
The problem is that after these very dry summers, when the soil is very hard and very dried out, that very intense rainfall, like the one we are seeing now, actually can't really get into the soil, but just washes down the streets, and that's why also some of the flooding is so heavy. So the main adaptation measure that we have to take is to have more vegetation and more diverse vegetation, more trees, because they mean that even during very dry summers, the soils don't get quite so dry because trees capture water in their roots, and that means that also when you have more permeable surfaces with lots of vegetation, the flooding just doesn't go immediately in the roads and in people's houses, but have somewhere to go.
And so are we learning that lesson? Do you see this principle being applied across Europe?
We are definitely not learning fast enough. We have seen some very heavy flood events recently. I mean, the most prominent one, I think, in recent memory is the 2021 floods in western parts of Germany and Belgium. And a lot of that has actually been rebuilt in exactly the same way as before, with the same amount of asphalt and concrete and not more green surface, more permeable surfaces. So I don't think we are learning these lessons quickly enough, no.
So just to use the examples you gave there, so we've put back exactly what was there before. We haven't even, I don't know, improved the drains, built bigger reservoirs. We've just replaced like with like.
In some cases, we have replaced exactly like with like. I think some lessons were learned from that event, that we have now better early warning systems, that people take floods more seriously. So we have a much lower death toll this time, which of course is an important lesson, but there is a lot more to learn still.
Thank you for joining us, climatologist Friederike Otto from Imperial College London. Thank you so much.
Thank you.